so excited for tonight. How are you guys? Hi. Hi, everybody. Hello. Hello. I do have good stuff for you tonight. Oh, good. It's funny because I've been sitting here for about 3 minutes since about 6:02 watching your comments, and people are like, "Where is she? I don't know. She's runs on her own clock," and I'm like, "No, I'm here. I'm on your clock." Welcome to the new moon ceremony for October. I'm so excited. I'm going to tell you why I'm excited because I'm excited for a couple reasons tonight. My mantra and philosophy in life is bring your own joy. And so my joy tonight is coming from a couple of places. First of all, I feel good. I had a really crappy flu for a couple of weeks. I'm also excited because I voted and my ballot has been received and counted. And you may think it's a weird thing for me to come to you at the beginning of our ceremony tonight and say, please vote. If you live in the United States, I'm asking you to please vote. And frankly, I don't really care who you vote for. It's not even a political thing. It's a democratic thing. I need you to vote. So if you're somebody who has sat on the sidelines or maybe thought your vote didn't count, I think your vote counts. And so I would like to encourage you to vote early. There's so many different ways to vote. You can go and drop your ballot in person. You can mail it in. You have plenty of time. So I'm going to take this off now. But I put it on because I didn't want to forget to tell you to. What are we going to do? We're going to vote. We are going to activate our collective throat chakra, and we are going to declare what we want. So please vote. Please, 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 and thank you, and thank you. I thought about doing a contest online where if you post your I voted sticker, then you'd get like a crystal or something. I thought about doing something like that. Friends of mine are doing, if you have your I voted sticker, you get a free yoga class. So I was like, well, maybe I could do the Sage Goddess kind of version of that. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, and if you're in Australia, just send us some good vibes. Good job, you guys. Well, I mailed mine in, and my ballot has been counted. So here in California, that system is working, and I got an email confirmation. Your ballot has been received. Your ballot has been counted. So I feel good about that. All right. Well, this is a new moon. Let's talk about this. I love this new moon. I love a new moon in Libra. It's been hard for a lot of people. It's been easier a little bit for those of us who have Libra in our chart. I am Libra rising. What that means is if you just meet me and you don't know me very well, you think I'm a Libra until you realize I'm for sure not, and I'm a Leo, right? Which usually comes after I have either, mauled you or roared at you. Then you realize I'm a lion. But I show up in life as a Libra. Is there anybody else who's Libra rising? So that's how you show up in the world. I'm Libra rising. Libra rising people a lot of times embody some of the nicest qualities of Libra. Libras are, how do I describe Libras? I really do love them. My brother's a Libra, so I grew up in close proximity to a Libra. And and honestly, my brother and I have never really had a serious argument. I'm 47, he's 58. And I can't point to a single real conflict that we've had. It's just been a great relationship. I give him most of the credit for that because he's a true Libra. Like, Libras are not here to fight with you. Libras are here to try to find balance. They're here to try to find the middle way, the middle ground, the middle path. That's not always easy to do. So one thing I want to remind you is we do something free for you every month on sagegoddess.com. My team builds these worksheets for you, and it tells you the stones, the herbs, and the oils that you need to work with for a new moon in Libra. It tells you when the moon was new, which was 12:31 p.m. Pacific time today. Gives you some journal questions, and then on the back, there's a little riff on what it means when the moon transits Leo and some additional journal questions for you. So I highly recommend downloading these, filling them out, and putting them into a notebook, because this is one way to track your progress. A year from now, when you read these responses, I think you'll come to the questions differently. And so I have fun going back and thinking, wow, I really wrote that last year. Like, I was in a different place. So anyway, this is your free gift from my team to yours. We do it for every new moon and every full moon. It's at sagegoddess.com. Alexis and Hannah, who are with me tonight, will link to the direct place for you to download it. I would download it either tonight or tomorrow morning, because after about 1 p.m. tomorrow, you're really out of the new moon window. Okay? So this is important, but I want to talk about the energy of tonight. So we are working tonight with oops, hold on. I touched something that I shouldn't have. Go away. There, okay. Oops. Okay, tonight we're working with 3 teachers. Because every month in the new moon, we work with 2 plant teachers and 1 spirit teacher, animal teacher. So our animal spirit guide for this month is Raven. And one of the things I'm going to teach you about in just a minute, actually, is the difference between, at least from my perspective and how I was trained, between raven and crow. Raven, crow, and magpie are all part of a family known as the corvid family. So they're all related. It's not like raven is radically different than crow. Raven, though, has a massive wingspan compared to crow. I mean, up to 4 feet wingspan. So, usually the birds that you see in your trees and in your backyard, they're usually crows. Ravens have a really radical and impressive wingspan, and so their size is different, their call is different. A raven's call is a little bit deeper in most cases, and a crow's call is a little bit higher. It's more like a caw, 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 and you get a little bit more of a deeper, grittier call with a raven. But then there's also some magical and some symbolic differences too that I want to talk with you about tonight. So we are going to talk about all of that. And then your 2 plant teachers tonight are 2 of my favorites of all time. Truly. One of them I have growing in my yard, which is this one, Vetiver. Vetiver, have you ever smelled vetiver root? I put vetiver essential oil in a lot of my different perfumes. It is intoxicating. It's an aphrodisiac. It's so sexy. It's really deep. It's in the US, where the perfume market is, what people like in the US for perfumes is not what they like in Europe. It's not what they like in Asia or the Middle East. We have a completely different palette for scent in the US. We like fruity and kind of light, but outside the US, in the Middle East in particular, but also in Asia and throughout just most of the rest of the world, in Europe in particular too, and even down into Australia and New Zealand. So I've traveled a lot, and whenever I travel, I try to learn about the perfume culture in the country where I'm at. And outside of the US, they use vetiver in women's perfumes and colognes, even though here it's considered to be a masculine scent. It is one of my favorites of all time, top 10 for me. Can't live without vetiver, so we're going to learn all about vetiver tonight. And then Mandrake, which I always call mandragora, because that's the botanical name, and I think it's sexier than mandrake. Mandrake is a flying herb. You put too much of this in your pipe, and you're going to go downtown to Funky Town with James Brown. So I always tell people, you got a little bit of mandrake in the wrong hands is a interesting tool. You don't want to take it all the way down. But it really does, it's very profound, and it is a teacher, and it teaches us about going into the depths of our consciousness to understand who we are. And one of the things that tonight's new moon brings up for me is this concept, and we'll talk about quite a few things right now for context, this concept of know thyself. Here's what I think tonight's new moon is all about. And by the way, it's the second super new moon that we've had this year, and it's getting us ready for a total lunar eclipse coming on December 16th. So we're going to be going back into an eclipse cycle very shortly here, and these supermoons are kind of like setting the stage, okay? This is one of the gentler ones, and the energy of tonight for me is, and I wrote this down to be able to read it to you. If you want good relationships externally, with friends or with a partner or with your coworkers or whatever, then you have to begin building a good relationship internally. How you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you feed yourself, how you take care of yourself, how you treat your body. Because everything external of you is a reflection of what's internal. So if you're looking around your life and saying, I want my marriage to be better, I wish I had better friends, I wish I got along better with my coworkers, I wish this, I wish that, I really want you to take tonight to set an intention to develop a stronger, deeper, more intimate relationship with you first. Because everything else falls from there. And what I've noticed is when I'm having relationship troubles externally, if I'm honest with myself, I can usually see where I'm not being good enough to myself internally. I'm not treating myself the way I would want someone else to treat me. Does that make sense? So this, and know thyself, by the way, is a pillar of wisdom. It goes back to the Hermetic principles. It is mentioned in the Emerald Tablet. Shakespeare is famous for having said in one of his plays, "To thine own self be true," which is an analog of this concept of self-awareness and self-knowledge. Because at the end of the day, you're only here to get to know you, to get to like you, and I hope to get to love you. It's all you. That's all you're here for. And the relationships in your life are proxies for that. So they're arenas, they're training grounds. So your kids teach you certain things about how you need to love yourself more, or be more playful, or loosen up, or let go a little bit, or and your partner is a proxy for you because your partner shows your capacity for tenderness. And again, usually if you're tender with your partner, you're tender with yourself, and if you're not tender with your partner, you are not tender with yourself. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's one of the most important things I wanted to talk about tonight. I'm going to keep going while I smudge, but because I want to make sure we have plenty of time. But I had quite a few points I wanted to make in my notes for you tonight. Yeah, the Emerald Tablets. So next year in my online program called Soul Shift, I teach online classes in spiritual transformation and crystal healing. Next year in my online programs, I'm teaching alchemy, and which is the process of changing people, places, and things from one form to another. It's basically a course in transformation. And the Emerald Tablets are the original alchemical wisdom. And that's one of the core principles, is that wisdom is really the knowledge of the self. And how do you develop that knowledge of yourself? By coming to understand other people, and by coming to see that every relationship in your life is just a mirror of what's actually happening in your energy field. So when it's a mess external to you, 9 times out of 10, it's a mess internal to you too. And I'm not saying that to judge you. I would never do that. But I'm saying this to bring a little bit of awareness, because one of the things that's become so clear to me since the world turned on its axis back in March, one of the things that's become really, really clear to me is we have to shift toward a respect for and an appreciation of just being, and not doing. You know, that if you spend a day just being, not really doing much, just reading, or just, spending time with your kids, or being outside, that's actually accomplishing something. Now, a lot of us don't have time to do that all the time. But I really think this whole process that we're going through is an alchemy of its own to teach us, because a lot of us have been stripped of the busy work and the hustle bustle and the rush. And so I think it's bringing us back to a mindful place of like, so what do I actually need to be happy? And can I learn how to just be with who I am, be with what I have, not constantly chasing something that's outside of me, Yeah, and I honestly really think you do need, if you can swing it. And I know it's hard if you work overtime, if you have little tiny kids. I know it's hard. I have kids too. So I rarely get a whole day to myself. But sometimes I get 2 or 3 hours, and I really try to use that time to just be and not to do or create or produce, or just to be. And I'll tell you something, this Libra new moon is an invitation to all of this, because Libra is trying to create balance. Libra sees where you are out of balance and wants to gently bring you back into alignment. So if you've been all focused on work, you have to play a little bit, or you're not going to experience balance. If you've been, constantly in conflict in your relationship, then you need to be playful with your partner, or you're not in some kind of balance. And it's good to be the one who speaks up and says, we need some balance. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, other things coming up under this Libra new moon. Peace and harmony. Libra seeks harmony. Harmony is the collaborative coexistence between similar and opposing things, people, and energies. We can create harmony in any kind of context, but harmony is the goal for Libra. They're happy when people are getting along, when systems are functioning, when nature is in balance, right? So tonight I want you to think about these things. How can you create deeper harmony in your life? And again, as a Libra rising, I often find myself as the peacemaker between people, like a mediator almost. I spend a lot of my time going, okay, tell me your side. Okay, thank you. Now tell me your side. Okay, thank you. So where can we meet in the middle, right? I do it as a parent. I do it as a boss. I do it as a leader in my community. So that's an important one for you to think about. It also is asking you tonight, Libra new moon, the difference between what is yours and what is other people's in your relationships. Libra is really good. They might drive you insane. Do you want to know what drives me insane about Libras? I'm talking about sun sign Libras and moon sign Libras to a certain extent. What drives me nuts about you guys, I love you, and I think you're very valuable people, and you bring a lot of awareness to the rest of us. What drives me nuts is they're like Teflon coated. You know what I mean? Like, and I admire them for it, but it's like just kind of nothing sticks to them, right? Every single Libra I've ever known, like they experience something and then they just let it move right on. And as a double fire sign, I'm like, but you should feel that, and they're like, well, I noticed it, but then I moved on. And I'm always like, you moved on? I'm still mad. And they're like, no, I'm not really mad anymore. I think we came to a great resolution. And I'm just thinking. So anyway, that was my quick play for you of what it's like for a Leo and a Pisces to have an argument, right? No, it's okay. I'm moving on. But if the thing that drives me the most crazy about them is also the thing I need to learn from them. It doesn't stick. They move on. They keep going. Where in your life do you need to let it roll off your back? Let it be like oil in your Teflon pan. Where do you need to stop taking everything on and in and so seriously and be a little bit more like, no, it's good. I mean, they're not being superficial. That's really how they are. They experience the energy and then they go whoop and throw it right over their shoulder and just keep on trucking. They're incredibly resilient people. And if there's something that I need to learn from Libras, and here's how you know what you need to learn. The thing that drives you the craziest about them is your learning edge. When people come to me and they're like, Leos are so annoying because they're bossy and they're focused on their appearance and they are know-it-alls and stuff, and it's like, a lot of times those people need more confidence. So the thing that drives them nuts about Leos is actually the thing that they need to work on. Or what drives people nuts about Virgos, they're so detail oriented, and they can't ever loosen up and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but maybe you need to be more detail oriented. Maybe you need to be a little bit more serious. You know what I mean? So I have places in my life that I'm working on this. I am working on being more go with the flow, more like, wee, I just threw it over my shoulder. Who even cares? Because I'm going to be like a Libra. But you got to believe it. You can't just do it but pretend like it doesn't really work, right? Yeah. It's true. Okay. So what would be good intentions for you to set tonight? I'd love for you to just close your eyes or just get into a receptive position so you can hear these words and they can really, move down into your groundwater, because this is going to be your work for tonight. You only get to set intentions 13 times a year, right? So tonight, the best intentions you can set, you're welcome to set any intentions for anything at any time. But the best ones would be around intentions for balance, not so much high and low, but finding a way to be even keeled is one of my intentions. Alignment. Libras are excellent at alignment because they really do follow the call of their spirit. Libras don't really let other people make rules for them. They don't even really understand that, really. So moving into a deeper alignment, right, would be another way of you setting an intention that's totally in alignment with the energy of this new moon. Compromise is another thing that Leos are really good at. Leos are really good at going, you want this and you want that. Here's a solution where both of you get some of what you need. Libras are so good at mediation. And so where in your life do you need to compromise, right? I love reading your comments. It's true. But you can set an intention around anything tonight. But the intentions that you set at the new moon, when they are in alignment with the energy of the sign in which that moon is transiting, are always the most well aspected, meaning they have the most energy to support them here. And for me, going with the flow, easing up, you know what I mean, trusting the process, letting stuff just fly over my shoulder, like that's some good work for me right now. Yeah. And if you have Libra as your north node, which Claire, my head of marketing, does, then this is the work of a lifetime, right? Because that's really ultimately why you're here. Your north node is your dharma, it's your purpose. So a lot of you are here to find that balance. Another intention you could set tonight, the last thing I wanted to share with you is you could break free of some old patterns tonight. Remember, at new moons we release. What do you need to let go of tonight? Like, what really is weighing you down? What's too much for you right now? I'm letting go of a lot of expectations in my life of myself and other people because it's just a challenging time, and I'm finding that when I try to expect the same out of myself and out of other people, I either frustrate myself or I frustrate them. So I'm trying to let go of expectations. That's one thing I'm releasing tonight. I'm also releasing any anxiety or fear that comes up around world events. I'm letting that go. Haley's releasing grief. Jody's releasing smoking. I love it. Alma's releasing procrastination. So these are all anything you need to let go of tonight, but especially things that are standing in the way of being free from old patterns that don't serve you. And here's an example of an old pattern. We tend to see the same things happen in our life over and over again, right? Every year at Thanksgiving, your aunt asks you why you're not married yet, which triggers you, and then you get upset. I'm just giving you a hypothetical. This is actually someone I know. It's a client. And so every year they get triggered, they leave the holiday meal, everybody's upset, they know this, and yet next year they get together all over again. Breaking free of old patterns would mean that this year when she goes to Thanksgiving, it doesn't bother her. she shifts her thinking around it, or she doesn't engage in it, or she just lets it go because it's old and she's tired of having the same reaction to the same thing over and over again, which doesn't demonstrate growth. So that kind of thing where you're like, every time you encounter the same conversation or the same topic and you respond the same way, it's like, are you growing? Because your growth is evidenced in a different reaction to the same stimulus. Let me say that again. Your growth is measured in a different reaction to the same stimulus. That's how the universe tracks your progress. That's how I track my students' progress. When stuff comes up and it's like, once again, the same old programming, the same words, the same reaction, the same emotion, it's like, we're supposed to be coming to old things with new eyes every time. And that's how we know that we're on the path, right? Okay, so all of that is there. Now, I want to talk to you about our teachers really quick, and then we will begin our ceremony because I've got something good planned for you tonight. Okay, so I'm going to start by teaching you about the plants first and foremost. This is vetiver. And it looks like that. But what you actually burn and distill for oil is not the leaves, it's the root. I have a huge 10-foot vetiver tree outside. But in order to harvest it, I would have to hack at the roots and I could potentially kill the tree. So I think I will never harvest my own vetiver. I think I'm just going to let it grow. So vetiver, which is also known in India as rucus. So if you ever see rucus, R-U-H-K-H-U-S, that is the Indian botanical name for vetiver. Vetiver has these, and the roots of vetiver, it's not an attractive root, but oh my goodness, you get within 3 feet of it and you can smell exactly what you're smelling in your initiation balm. So if you have your initiation balm, I want you to open it up, that's vetiver. And vetiver is used in perfuming as a smoke note. And you can probably see why, because it has a very smoky, very sensual, kind of like campfire on a long summer night scent to it. I find it intoxicating and it blends incredibly. It blends well with florals. It also blends well with other base notes like patchouli or sandalwood. One of the, it says it's a holy herb. It's been etched in the Bhagavad Gita, where in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, I am the fragrance of the soul. I'm talking about vetiver. So when something is listed in such a sacred spiritual text as the fragrance of the soul, I think that's something worth pointing to. We work with vetiver for grounding and for protection. It is a root, so it roots you. And it's very good for healing imbalances in the root chakra. Isn't that yummy? Now, by the way, if you missed it, because the kit sold out, we do have, I think, 20 or 30 jars of just this on the website on thesagegoddess.com. I don't want you to leave now, but you can always grab one later if you didn't get the kit for whatever reason, or if you want a refill, because some people loved it so much when they got it, they already used it all. I was like, we better make a few more of those, because I think we need refills. Some people got very excited, which I love. And then Mandrake, which is Mandragora officinarum, looks like this. Now, again, this is a plant where we use the root for magic. And the root looks like a little person. Do you see how that root, like sitting right there, it looks like a little person? The legend goes, and I have friends who swear it's true, that when you pull a mandrake root out of the ground, it screams. And it's not a pleasant scream. So, yeah, mandrake root is an intense little ally for you in your spiritual practice. So I'm going to light my my charcoal, because I'm going to burn some of this. And like I said, you know, don't burn too much and don't over inhale. It's not a illegal or controlled substance, but it's like mugwort, you know? It's just gonna loosen you up just a little. Just so nice. Very important. Okay. So I've got my incense crackling right there. Ooh, look, it's spitting. It's the best when your incense is spitting at you. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Mandrake. Hiss. It does have a strong smell. I like it. I don't know. Some people don't like it, the smell of Mandrake. I find it very comforting. I wouldn't say it has like a tea type smell to it, but it definitely has a... Gotta help it along today. This whole batch of charcoal I've had has not been the best. There we go. This is a lifetime supply of Mandrake incense, by the way. If you ever run out of that, I'll be very surprised. Unless you're burning it all the time. And you could fall in love with it and want to burn it all the time. Okay, so Mandrake is known as the witch's flying herb. So all of the comments about, does it really? Katie's just sitting there huffing it. Listen, girl, you are welcome to do it. It's not a powder. Sometimes people do have Mandrake powder. The one that you have in your incense is the actual like chopped sword bits of the root. Mandrake screams when it's uprooted, killing the person digging it up. That's the legend. So if you are brave enough to dig up a Mandrake root, it's going to scream and kill you, which is actually not true. But it makes for a really good story to tell on Halloween night. It teaches the earthly mysteries, and so it's perfect for visioning. And again, if you smoke too much of it or you get hotboxed by it, then you might have some interesting visions to think about. Have you been burning it all night? I love that. I'm going to move mine to a little bit of a different part so I can keep the magic going. There it's coming. Now it's coming. Okay. And then your gift in this month's kit was your Corvid skull. And Raven is the Corvus Corax. So this is your Raven card. Raven is one of the most intelligent creatures. There's a video, I've got to find it. It's on YouTube somewhere of these I think it was crows that were doing it, going through this like obstacle course. And they figured out the whole obstacle course. I mean, every single thing, ring the bell, do the thing. They completely figured it out. They are so smart. People underestimate how smart crows are. Yes, you can roll that up and smoke it. It's said that Raven's messages come to those worthy of the knowledge. When Raven shows up, pay attention. He's the keeper of the secrets. But I want to take it off the card and teach you a little bit more about Raven and Crow. They have different size and different sound. Like I said, a raven's wingspan is going to be about double a crow's wingspan, so they're larger. They have a deeper call. Ravens are called the masters of illusion. And, but like I said, raven, crow, and magpie all come from the corvid family. Interestingly enough, in ancient Greece, the first time I ever heard of raven was when I was learning Greek mythology with my dad when I was little, because we were studying Apollo. And Apollo in his temple had a white raven. And that white raven would squawk whenever there was news coming about, about Greece or war or anything like that. So I've never seen a white raven, but it is said that Apollo had a white raven and that was his bird of prophecy. So he paid very careful attention. Now, Apollo was very into divination and prophecy. Remember that the Pythia, the first oracle at the oracle at Delphi in Greece, sat inside of Apollo's temple, right? Yeah, so now when it comes to the main difference for me symbolically, and I'd be curious to know what the differences are for you. Both ravens and crows are messengers. When they come, they've got something to tell you, and it's usually a message worth listening to. It's usually a message of change, or sometimes it's a message of death. In some cultures, they believe that they're messengers of death. I've not found them to be that way. I have found that they know magical people, and they will come and flock around you and squawk. In my old house, which isn't far from the house I live in now, they used to come and go in this one tree, and they would squawk all day outside of our old Sage Goddess building, because as of today we're in our new building. But in our previous building in Torrance, I had a little tiny office upstairs, and there was a tree, and there was a pair of crows that lived in that tree, and they would sit and squawk at me all day long. Part of me is hoping that they are going to follow me to the new place. It could be ancestral messages too. However, crows represent information, ravens represent transformation. Is one of the, thanks you guys, it's one of the differences between them. Yeah, when I got the call from Dave that the move was fully complete, I was like, how did we even do that? So thanks you guys. And they're already up and running in the new space. Like, what? Proud of you, Team SG. Really proud of you. The other difference I want to point out is Raven, let's start with Crow. Crow is about collective magic, collective wisdom, messages that support the collective. So sometimes when Crow brings a message, Crow's message can be about global change or climate change or change within your family or just whatever, however the collective is defined. Raven brings and supports solitary magic. So when Raven comes, the messages are for you. So it's a little bit more personalized. They're both very smart, but Crow is more of the collective messenger in my experience, and Raven is more of the solitary or the individual messenger. What's going to impact you versus what's going to impact the collective. Does that make sense? So, yeah, I know. I hope they follow us too. I don't know. I know they're very smart. I actually, last time I sat in that office, which was in March, unfortunately, and watched them, I remember telling them, when we move, I want you to come with us. Because I think they're so smart, they would know. I really do. I love them truly and deeply. I really do. Like, love them as creatures. So I hope you'll come. If you haven't loved them, I hope you'll come to love them. They are as smart as we are. So they're an ally in a really important sense. So I'm going to light my candle and get the rest of our party started. I've got my incense going over there. This is your I Initiate Balance candle, and it's poured with Vetiver and Mandrake. So you will enjoy the scent of that one too, I am sure. Okay. I want to invite you to roll your shoulders back, call your energy into present time, fully being here now in this moment. Reminding yourself, as I always tell you, that everything you need to do will be waiting for you when we're done. So just really trying to be as present in you as you can in this moment. Start to connect with your amulet too. Just, you can hold it between your fingers. This is carved for you out of golden sheen obsidian from Mexico. This is about integrating your light and your shadow. This is a message for you of integration and balance. So we very specifically chose golden sheen because it balances your light, which is all the stuff about you that's really easy to love, and your shadow, which is all the stuff about you that isn't so easy to love, but it's still you. So you can hold on to that while we're drumming and tuning and all the things that we're going to do. So I'm going to open our circle. Take a nice deep breath. Roll your shoulders back. Get your posture right so your spine is aligned and straight. Allows the energy to flow much more easily through your system. And put your hands on your knees with your palms facing up. I want you to imagine that out of your left hand extends a beautiful beam of white light, about 4 to 6 inches in diameter. And feel that light between your hands, between your fingers, letting that beam of light extend all the way around the circle of souls who are here tonight. And I want to say thank you for coming tonight. I'm really glad that you're here. New moons are so important, especially right now when we're in in a cauldron, right? We're in a crucible of change. And so taking this time for yourself, for your community, for me, for all of us to put your desires out there in the world and work to manifest them, that's a gift that you give yourself, and it's a gift that you give all of us too. And I want you to imagine that beam of light wrapping itself all the way around and coming back to you in your right hand. And when it does, you're holding the essence of the energy of this circle in your hands. And let that light come up through your hands into your forearms, over your shoulders. Imagine it moving all the way through the double helix of your DNA. Let that light move up and down that Sushumna or central channel that holds all of the physical chakras from the root to the crown. And imagine that light is unconditional love and absolute manifestation of all that you seek, and complete and divine acceptance of who you are, and harmony with not only who you are, but harmony with all that is. And as you let that light come through your system, imagine every cell in your body opening to receive that truth. That they are not, the cells in your body are not disconnected from harmony, from love, from healing, from peace. That it's all, everything is in divine relationship in this very moment. Because this new moon is giving you that invitation to really feel into what that could mean for you. I'm going to call in our guides and guardians of the directions, beginning with the direction of east. Welcoming in the guides and the guardians of the Eastern Gateway, the air gateway tonight. Helping us to cultivate this Libra energy, to find deeper resonance and harmony and spaciousness, liberation and freedom, learning how to throw things over our shoulder. We're so grateful to the guides and the guardians of the East for their presence. We welcome them. And to the guides and the guardians of the South, for fire and transformation and courage, we welcome them in to help us shift and transform in a way that's going to bring us into alignment with these energies that we so desperately need. And we give thanks and welcome in the guides and guardians of the South. And to the guides and the guardians of the West, which for me is where Crow lives, in the West, we welcome in their water medicine tonight. Flow, expansion, softness, compassion, emotional healing and recovery. Energies, nurturing in the West, wisdom, intuition in the West, which is why Crow lives there as a messenger. And we welcome in the guides and the guardians there. And to the guides and the guardians of the North, calling you in for energies of stability, patience, and purpose. Grounding us, holding us steady as we do this work tonight to vision the next cycle. And we give thanks for the opportunity to slow down, listen, and learn that the guardians of the North bring us. And with that, our circle is open. Yeah, if Crow and Raven are both west for me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad. Okay. I'm going to do a 3-layer exercise with you tonight, sound exercise, because I feel like there's different layers of energy for us to work with tonight. And the first part of the ceremony is going to be the releasing part with my rattle. And as I rattle for you tonight, I really want you to ask yourself, what needs to be let go? And it can be dramatic, it can be a relationship, it can be a job, or it can be as subtle as, a conversation that you had, or your own anxiety about something, or you not forgiving yourself, or, whatever it is. I want you to think about what it is that needs to be released tonight so that you can feel peace. What is holding you back? Can you figure that out? Do you know what's holding you back? Is it fear? Is it judgment? Is it, I love that, Jessica Brentman. What is holding you back? Closer to you. And so if you feel comfortable, I'd like you to stretch your arms out, because I'm going to go through and sort of rattle. And the more kind of head space and arm space I have, if you can extend your arms, and then I'm going to guide you to turn around. You don't have to do any of that. You can just sit where you are, but you'll feel it a little bit differently if you let me get in there, because I think energy comes through the video. So I'm going to do the full cross of releasing on the front of you, and then the full cross of releasing on the back of you. Are you ready? Let me just crystallize what I'm letting go. Okay, you ready? Now, if you would like, you can turn around. And I'll rattle your booty. Because there's energy behind you too. And when we're releasing, we often focus on everything right here that's in front of us. But what do we do with the energy that's behind us? So, and it's hard to get your own behind. That's why you have me. So turn around. Blow that energy out. And I want you to imagine your muscles releasing all of that. Your central nervous system, all of it, the nerves, everything, releasing. Spinal column, everything, it's out. I want you to give permission to your skin to release all of that. I want you to give permission to your blood to release all of that. I want you to give permission to your eyes not to see those things anymore. I want you to give permission to your mouth not to speak those things anymore. I want you to give permission to your conscious mind not to spin up on those things anymore. If you're really releasing it, release it. Amen, aho, and so it is. Cool rattle, isn't it? He's an artist on Etsy, and I just think he's magnificent. So this is a chime that is aligned to the air element. We don't have these right now, but we will in a couple weeks. And just for now, I want you to, in place of everything that you just released, in this really light and easy step, I want you to imagine that you're in a garden full of flowers, even now at harvest time. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you've got your beautiful spring flowers. And I want you to imagine that each one of those flowers is something that you would like to bring into your life. Maybe there's a flower of peace, or maybe there's a flower that represents beauty or ease for you, or prosperity, or really good health. Alignment, maybe there's a flower that looks just like alignment for you. Aww, thanks you guys. And I want you to go around that garden in your mind. It's a very Libra activity. And I want you to consciously pick the flowers of energies that you want to experience. It's kind of like an intention that you're setting. What would you consciously pick? What are you consciously choosing, right? So I'm consciously choosing peace and alignment and joy and hope and spaciousness in my mind, where I'm not always like thinking and overthinking. You know, I like that. I'm calling in time to do everything and be everything I want and need to be. I'm calling in comfort in my body, kindness to myself. And now I'm calling in the balancing energy of water. Water to take all these intentions and to send them on the river of possibility. If you do have any intentions aligned to water, which would be emotional healing, financial wealth and prosperity, ease and flow energy, I want you to focus your mind on those flowers, on those energies that you're inviting in. What does prosperity look like for you? And I'm going to teach you a secret. I mentioned this the other day. This may be the most important secret I teach you. When you're manifesting, and when you set intentions, you're manifesting. So we're manifesting tonight, right? When you're manifesting, you have to say either I am or I have. You can't say I want or I need. Because need reinforces to the universe that you're not there yet. Because if you need something, you don't have it, right? And if you want something, you don't have it. And the way energy works is, in order to raise the vibration to attract what you want, you have to experience it as if it's already there. And it's funny, you know, my first example ever doing this, when I was in college, I really knew I wanted to be a professor, like kind of from day one. And so I decided to look at what kinds of notebooks my professors had, and I ordered those notebooks, what kind of bag they carried, and I got that, and how they took notes in their books, and I did that, and I used to sit and think, I am a professor. Not one day I will be, but I am. I am a professor, I am a teacher. And I kept kind of breathing life into that. And I mean, I quickly became one. As soon as I graduated from college, I immediately began teaching. And I felt like I had prepared myself for it. And again, you might say that's silly. Like, why would I have said, I am a professor, I am a teacher, I love teaching, teaching brings me joy? Because I was already, I wanted to manifest it, and I knew if I kept saying one day I will be or I hope I will be, it's postponing things even deeper into the future. So what is your I am or your I have tonight? I am peaceful. I am in alignment. I am moving through change with grace. I have all the resources I need to make my dreams come true, right? And it's tough until you get the hang of it. Once you get the hang of it, you're like, I am, and I have, and I am, and I have. But it'll seem weird when you're talking about things you don't have. But you gotta stay right in that vibe, because that is the secret to it all. So, our last step for tonight lightly drumming tonight. Everything's light and easy with Libra, right? I mean, Libra doesn't overdo it. Gentle, easy, peaceful, right? I want you to practice these statements. These are your intentions for tonight. I enjoy balance. I have balance. I'm just going to read from the feed. I am pain-free. I am abundant. I am blessed. I'm in the flow. I am a healer. I'm just reading yours. Isn't it fun? I love it. I am being. I am enlightened. I am peaceful. I have balance between work and play. My big one for me, to be happy, I have to have time by myself every single day. I will lose my mind otherwise. I am a loner. And so I'm also claiming time by myself. I have time to myself to recharge my batteries, right? I love it. I am safe. I am organized. Yes. I am focused. I am love. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm well rested. I'm free. And once you start doing it around prosperity, it'll get more comfortable for you. But you can say things like, I have all the money I need to do everything I want to do exactly the way I want to do it at any time. I have all the help that I need to manifest everything that I desire easily and effortlessly. Plenty of support. And if you don't have all that, you might be going, what? Get in there. You gotta believe it to see it. I love it. I have security. I have success. I am balanced. I am organized. I am successful. I am healed. Love it. I have a house. What kind of house? I have the house of my dreams, decorated exactly the way I want it. I have peace. I have children who feel loved. Stay with your breath. I love it. I am content. I am worthy. I am balanced. Look at that. You guys are making it happen right now. The universe is responding to this already. The question is, can you hold it? Can you stay here? You start to lose your faith at some point, come back to this video. You'll have it as a recording forever. Come back to this part and do it again. And remember, every single thing I said I was going to do in my life, people told me I was nuts. I dropped out of high school. I had to. My parents' restaurant burned down, my grades were shit. I dropped out and got a PhD. Who does that? It's nuts. Most high school dropouts don't get PhDs and become professors. And it helped my students respect me, and it inspired them. Dream big. But you have to believe in you too. Oh, thank you for that. I really appreciate those comments. I see you. I love it. Okay, you ready to send these up? Great Spirit. God, Goddess, Creator, Source of all life. See us on this new moon night together as we send these prayers, these wishes, these intentions skyward on wings of faith. Remember, I started Sage Goddess on a new moon with an intention. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm going to add one more if you don't mind. I live on a peaceful planet where people love each other and look out for each other. I live on a planet where diseases and viruses are cured or treated so we don't have to live in fear. I live in health. I live in joy. I live on this earth in love and in peace and in harmony with all forms of life and creation. Aho. I had to do that. So Great Spirit, Creator, we ask that you take these intentions on the winds of love and hope. Take them for us, expand them, transform them into matter. Call to us all the people, the money, the resources, the time, faith, space, the skills, the talents, the confidence that we need to do this work. And we give thanks for blessings already on their way and intentions that have already been answered. We did some good work there, my friends. May it be so. It is done. It is done. It is complete. It is done. And we give thanks for all of that energy that's already finding its way into a material form to bless us, to bless you, to bless me, to bless this whole planet. Isn't that great? I believe it's already on its way. So, I like to use my breath. You can lick it if you want. I'm not going to lick mine right now. But I'm going to blow my breath across this little corvid skull, which seals the energy of the intentions. And so every time you wear this piece or hang it in your sacred space or whatever you choose to do with it, it's a reminder. It's holding the frequency and the vibration of all of those dreams. When you're not wearing it, hang it in your bathroom where you get ready every morning. So you see it, you go, yes, It is done, it is done, it is done. And keep sending fuel in the form of faith to your intentions and desires, all the way through the lunar cycle to all this faith. Amen. Aho, so it is. Woo! I love it when you guys drum with me. Always feel invited to get your drum and drum along. It's like being in a drum circle. And the energy is just even more intense when multiple people are drumming together. So I love that. Thank you for that, Rochelle. It's a big night. Yeah, if you didn't cry, it's because Libras don't really cry. They don't really cry. Just like Leos. Leos don't really cry. If a Leo's crying, it's because they got injured. It's not because they're sad. Some signs cry. They cry enough for the rest of us, so we're good. Let's thank and release our guides and guardians tonight. So we begin with the guides and the guardians of the North. We thank you for your constant, steady presence, helping us to feel safe, grounded, and connected. We thank you for that steady drumbeat and heartbeat that keeps us rooted, tethered to this planet. We release you with gratitude. And to the guides and the guardians of the West, thank you for emotional healing tonight, a sense of deeper emotional connection to ourselves and each other, for helping us to fine-tune our relationships, first on the energetic level, and then of course that will happen on the physical material level too. So we give thanks and release you with gratitude. To the guides and the guardians of the South, we thank you for transformation and courage, strength, power, the ability to shapeshift and become something new in our lives, to meet the challenges of our lives from a new place. And we give thanks and release you with gratitude. And last but not least, to the guides and the guardians of the East, who are our hosts tonight under this Libra new moon, we thank you for free-flowing ideas, spaciousness in our minds and our hearts. We thank you for the breath of life and possibility, for helping to teach us how not to take it all so seriously. We give thanks and have deep gratitude for the guides and the guardians of the East. We release you. And with that, our 10th new moon ceremony of 2020, can you believe it? And I think my 6th or 7th here at the house is complete. And what a pleasure it was to be with you guys tonight, truly. Okay, the Libras are crying. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. I want to tell you really quickly before you sign off for the evening, we do have next month's tools for you in the shop. Next month we're working with Snake is our guide, because we're going to shed some skin next month, and I hope you're really excited about that. So next month's tools, the incense is skullcap, and the initiation balm or the solid perfume is spikenard. These are for compassion, eternal love, relaxation, and grace. So we're going to transform with grace next month, and we get a fun little snake carving, because we're going to do a little Kundalini work next month too. You can't have snake medicine without Kundalini. Now here's what's really special. This is a one-of-a-kind sterling silver pendulum that I had custom made with garnets in gold, and it even says SG up at the top on the little piece that you hold. So you hold it like this and read it like that. This is heavy, it's real sterling silver, it's worth $350, and I'm putting it in the order of someone who gets their new moon tools today before midnight. So your code is 18. Is it 18 black? I never remember the codes. What is your code for today? Alexis and team can put it in the feed for me too. 18 black, yeah, 18 BLACK. So you'll save 18% off, and then one of you is going to get that gorgeous pendulum. It is one of a kind. There are no others like it. It was custom made. Every single piece was custom designed, and it's very accurate. And if you wanted, you could put a bail on it and wear it as a necklace, which would be kind of beautiful too. So good luck, everybody. If you're getting your tools, they are available for you. If you just want the Vetiver balm for tonight, you can get just that as well. So that's available too at sagegoddess.com. And with that, I want to wish you a beautiful rest of your evening. This new moon is really special, and if you take it to heart, it has the capacity really to change your life and to soften you up a little bit and help you be a better person to yourself. Like I said, if we take it all back to the core of our relationship with ourselves and really figuring out who we are, what we need, and how we can give it to ourselves, we become better partners, we become better parents, we become better citizens, we become better community members. You know, we stop being codependent because we realize that most of what we need, we can give it to ourselves. And there's no better time to start doing that than now. So thank you guys for being here. Mwah, with so much love from my heart to yours. Happy new moon. Thank you, Hannah and Alexis, for being here too. I appreciate you guys. And we will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening.